This is Ian Lamont, founder of Easy Genie Genealogy Charts and Forms, and today let's take a look at the 5 things you need to know about the amazing full-text search capabilities in FamilySearch. If this video helps, please like it and follow me and let's get started. So I'm logged into FamilySearch, and FamilySearch full-text search used to be kind of like a lab feature. Now it's a real feature that you can access from Search full text. So when you come to FamilySearch, don't use the search for an ancestor. That'll just be using the records and other features of FamilySearch. You want full text under search. So click that. And then you'll come to this particular window. So they want you to get started by using keywords, names, places, years, image group number. If you have that and you're doing some serious research and for instance, the microfiche number of a certain file, you can use that. Generally what I've been doing is just typing in a name and then the place, and then the year range. And let's see what turns up. Okay, so one thing you need to be aware of, when you use full text search, it generates lots of results. I want to draw your attention to this. Full text search results, 3,567,762. So that's the first thing you need to understand about it. It's great that it finds so many results, but there's a drawback. It's just too much to sort through. So that brings me to my second thing that you need to know about full text search. If you go back to your search term, so I'm just on the right side of the screen here, I'm going to put quotation marks around Sarah Jane McCartney's name. And let's see what happens when I do the same search with quotation marks. And you can see it actually reduced the number of results to just 5. So that's my first. That's the second thing you need to know, is that if you use quotation marks around keywords and names, it'll really start to reduce the number of results that you have. And in fact, right here on the right side, you can see FamilySearch, they've helpfully included some search tips to help you kind of narrow things down even further. So the second thing that you need to know, I'm going to just do a slightly different search for Wallace because this was her married name. The second thing you need to know about kind of reducing the number of results that you have is really use the collection and record type and year and place options here. Basically, let's do this. So it says for this particular name, Sarah Jane Wallace, there's 98 results. One thing you can do is click on record type, and it will show you the different types of records where their results turned up. So for instance, if I'm interested in finding marriage records that mention Sarah Jane Wallace, that's the place to do it. So I'm going to click apply and see what turns up. So you can see that a whole bunch of results turned up. They're actually not in Canada. They're in different parts of the United States. But I could start to go through this and see if they're relevant to the person that I'm looking for. So the other thing, that's the fourth thing that I wanted to tell you about for full text search and FamilySearch is there are these fantastic AI generated summaries that turn up for some of the records. This is particularly useful for things like wills and deeds, which are filled with legalese. And I can say that even though this particular Canadian deed, whoever wrote it has beautiful handwriting, and I can read it pretty easily. Let's see here. Thereof, just in front of the said lot 108.84, also of something street and of Maitland Street, according to. So this is like a legal definition of a particular plot of land. This was a transaction that took place. They've helpfully provided a transcript, but even much more useful to that, and I use it all the time, is the summarize this document feature. So click on that, and it says AI generated from the transcription below. And all of a sudden, this flood of legalese is kind of translated into something that's pretty easy to understand. On October 24th, 1870, William Kennedy and his wife, Sarah Jane Kennedy of Stamford, Welland County, Ontario, mortgaged approximately 20 acres of land to Benjamin Hansel, etc., etc., etc. So this is like a plain English summary of what this says. One thing I'd like to note about that, even though this is really easy to understand, if you want to be very, very extra careful with the information that's on there, I do recommend reading the transcript, or if you can, reading the original. Because one thing about AI-generated transcripts, they sometimes get things wrong. either that doesn't read a piece of information right, or maybe it makes some sort of inference that's not there. So I do recommend, if you think this is your relative, going into the original and actually trying to read the original, or at least using the transcript that they have below down here. But if you're just browsing through deeds and records, land records or wills, other legal documents, this really saves a lot of time, the summaries, because you can quickly kind of get through something and determine whether it's relevant or not to your search. Okay, so I've just listed 4 great things about full text search on FamilySearch. The first one is it generates so many results. The second one is use quotation marks to really narrow the focus. The third one is drill down to collections and years and places to further narrow down your results. And then I just talked about the summary, AI summary. That's the feature, the fourth great thing about it. The fifth thing that you need to know about FamilySearch is the full text search is not everything has been fully indexed, or it's not indexed in a way that makes it easy to find. And I've discovered this actually with marriage records for this particular person. And there's a record that's missing from all of these results here, whether I use Sarah Jane Wallace or Sarah Jane McCartney. I don't know why it's not showing up in full text search, but it's not the end of the world. And the reason why is because you can still just go to the old-fashioned, like the traditional family search and like search records, and you can still do the same search and hopefully find that record. And I know that the record exists because I found it on FamilySearch before. So full text search is an amazing change to the way records are found. It helps you find records that were nearly, not, I shouldn't say nearly impossible, but just took a long time to manually review, like deed records, or look through the old index that somebody had written like 100 years ago. Full text search really pulls a lot of this data out. You have to filter it down. Some things aren't showing up the way that they should, but FamilySearch has done a wonderful service for genealogists everywhere. And the great thing, one of the great things about this is it's completely free to use once you've registered. So I really love full text search. FamilySearch, thank you so much for doing this. Do stay tuned to further videos that I'll be having on my YouTube channel about using FamilySearch and other genealogy tips and things about history. This is Ian Lamont signing off. Thank you so much for watching.